What I want to speak to today is fairly intense. So just a quick warning at the beginning that if this is you, it might trigger you. You might not want to hear it, might piss you off. And my invitation, if that happens, if that's you, is to attempt to listen the entire way through, rather than get pissed off, turn it off, ignore it, because this may be the helpful bridge that you actually need. And I will do my best to explain all of the nuances and all of the subtleties, because this is just something that's challenging to explain in itself. And what I want to speak to is suffering. And believe me, you're speaking to a perpetual sufferer. I don't think I would be able to speak to this subject with such clarity if I hadn't been a perpetual sufferer. So I know why I took myself to those dark places, because if you just have little bits of suffering and you get over it, then a tiny bit another time, get over it, you're sort of not bothered about the process of how you might have gotten over or gotten through that. It just happens and you don't think anything of it. If, however, you're somebody like me that was constantly in suffering, you sort of think, what the am I going to do about this? I need to do something here. This is just, it's too much. So that's me. Big, black, dark holes. And you don't just go in one and sort of sort it out and understand it. No. This is sort of lifetime's work of suffering. Going in, coming out, going in, coming out, and thinking, why do I keep doing this to myself? Perpetual sufferer, right? So if you're in your own suffering, absolutely fine. I get it. This is not coming from a place of, I don't know what it's like there. And, you're doing it to yourself type of ignorance, because the only reason I know that is because that's what helped me through and out. And it's kind of not about doing it to yourself and sort of self-detriment, because that's slightly different. But what I want to say is that suffering is a choice, that we are choosing to be in that energy, to be in that archetype and have that experience for whatever reasons. And quite a lot of times suffering comes with a blame perspective. We're there and we're hurting and it's somebody else's fault. Something outside of us is doing that. And for me, this was health things. Quite a lot of the time, not all of the time, quite a lot of the time, health things. And I thought, this is autoimmune. How can I have done that to myself? And would really kind of bat that off and poo-poo it and say, no, that's impossible. You can't do autoimmune to yourself. This is my body attacking me. This is just, what's in the stars, or God, or spirit, or whatever. And the doctors would even confirm this is your body attacking itself. This is da-da-da-da-da. I now don't believe that to be so. I don't believe my body was ever attacking itself. I think that's misinformation. But again, each to their own, and everything is your own process. I'm just speaking to my process of it. And when I did finally take responsibility for my part, my half of that experience, and be like, okay, what if this is self-created? Let's just go there for a moment and just muse on that. Let's just spend maybe half an hour coming from the perspective that maybe this is me. Let's just see. And to my surprise, it unlocked a fair amount of empowerment rather than this victim mentality, victim archetype that I'd already been in. Because I shifted into, okay, well, actually, if I take responsibility for this being self-created, then I can do something about this. If I've done this to myself, I can undo it. And that was the first kind of leap into, I can, rather than there's nothing I can do about this, I can't, I've just got to suffer forever. And I just want to speak to a little nuance about this victim archetype, because just that word in itself can be fairly penetrating. Like, for most, there's quite a lot of judgment on the victim. We don't want to be a victim. And it comes with a fair amount of resistance. And also what we resist persists. So all of these archetypal characters, like the victim, the villain, these are energies, like illusions or masks that you can put on, like a character, okay? So the minute you try and resist any one of them, they're on your face without you even realising. The mask has put itself on and you unconsciously didn't know that you're actually wearing it. So if you resist it, it has your power. That's the subtlety with shadow work. When we resist something, the shadow archetype is wearing the mask and we don't even realise. And just wanting to be clear about these energies, that you can move through them. That it's almost like that divine dichotomy. You are all of these energies and also you're none of them. So you can put them on, you can try them on, you can have the experience in these archetypal energies, but they do not define you. They are not your identity. So if you're in victim, you're wearing that archetype, you're wearing that mask, you're having that experience, it does not define you. It's not your identity. It is not who you are. None of the archetypes or roles are. They're like characters in a play. They're like illusions. These are things that we can put on and try on and say, oh, how does this feel? How does it feel being empowered? How does it feel being the prince? How does it feel being the warrior? How does it feel being the rose, being the princess, being the lover? Whatever it is, it's just to try it on and see. It's not a definition of who you are. You just have access to these energies to put them on. So when I talk about the victim, it's not personal. Don't take it personally like, oh, my victim. It's not your victim. It's just an energy that you can either put on, be in that archetype, have that experience, or not. It's not a definition of you. So just to make that subtlety really clear, that if you find yourself in your victim archetype, that it's just an energy. You can put the mask on, you can take it off. It's an illusion. It's not an identity. It's not you. It's not who you are. None of the archetypes are who you are. And also, they are all who you are, because you've got access to all of them. So this is it's a lovely divine dichotomy. So, I suppose an add-on on this is, how do you shift out of your victim? The victim shift is the questioner. So if you're in your victim, as soon as you start asking questions, that's your road up to empowerment. The victim also likes to argue for victim place. It's, if you're having an argument, two people are usually arguing for the victim role. They're both in victim, saying, I want to wear this archetype. No, I'm this archetype. No, I'm this archetype. So if I say something like, suffering's a choice. If you're suffering, suffering is your choice. And somebody in victim, when you're really in your suffering, I know that you go, piss off, this isn't a choice, I'm suffering, this is hell, da 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 da, and your victim will be like, I am not doing this to myself, are you crazy? And it will fight for its victim archetype and tell me till I'm blue in the face, of course it's not doing it to myself. This is X that's hurt me, or, you know, somebody else has done this, it's karma, it's black magic, it's an illness, it is my ex, it's da-da-da-da-da, whoever this victim wants to blame, it's all outside of them. And of course I haven't done this to myself, are you crazy? And the victim has a fair enough point, because it's not all. The thing with kind of blame and taking responsibility is you take your half. Yes, other people are involved, but it's like a dance. It takes two to tango, let's say. So if two people were dancing, you need both of these people to dance. You need one person to be doing something, but you need to enroll this person to dance as well. So let's say your victim is over here, but it doesn't realise it's dancing with its perpetrator. And they're playing this game and they're doing this dance. And you're like, yeah, but this person's doing it to me. And you're like, hold on, you're dancing too. They couldn't do this to you unless you were also involved. It's like the unhealed part of you is unconsciously dancing with whoever it is. And you're saying, yeah, but it's all them. They've hypnotised me into dancing with them. And you're just like, well, snap out of your trance then. The minute you stop dancing and take responsibility for your half, they don't have a partner anymore. They can't do the dance. So hopefully that's helpful. You don't have to take full responsibility and overload everything, even their part. You leave their part with them and you take responsibility for your parts, the part that you can control. Stop dancing with whatever it is. Say, okay, I'm done. I take full responsibility that half of this is me. I've been involved. It's been a dance. 50% mine. 50% the unhealed part of me has been creating, the shadow part of me has been creating, and I just haven't seen it. It's been dancing this whole time. I've been doing it. Okay. Now what are the lessons? What is the unhealed part of you trying to tell you? So as soon as you take that responsibility of, okay, I've created this and I'm going to look at this. What are my lessons? What is this trying to show me? What is this trying to teach me? What are the unhealed parts that it's attached to? And this is your process of transformation out of it. This is why I did the medicine wheel. This is why I did all the shamanic teachings, because all the directions of the wheel show you. And then you, so my personal process with my illness was first, okay, recognizing it. And two, going, where are my blind spots? What are the unhealed parts of me? Why am I perpetually creating this dis-ease and suffering in my body? Why am I doing this to myself? And the answer was fear. I was afraid of myself. I was afraid of my body, didn't like it. I was in fear of dying. And I was afraid of death. And I didn't trust myself or trust God. I didn't want to surrender to the universe. I didn't trust God through kind of almost religious teachings in my body and this all-condemning God that was going to punish and smite me. And I was afraid of surrendering to fully to the energy and to God. And as soon as I realised those things, I was like, okay, now I've got something tangible to work with. Now I can see my pain points, and then started to feel a little bit more empowered and be like, right, I can do the work. I can do something about this. I can do this shadow work on these fears, meet these fears and bring them to the surface. And then you continue, then you do your shadow work, you step into revealing things about yourself that you've been holding guilt, shame, pain around. So I started to go into groups and self-development, doing the West, revealing all the things that you don't want on a billboard, like things that you just hold heavy energy around, sort of. So for me, stuff like shitting myself in public and having an abortion. I had loads of things around, sex, loads of shadow stuff around money, loads of shadow stuff around security, didn't feel safe. And certainly I didn't approve of myself because I'd done all of these things that I was really so ashamed of. And that is the work and the process out of your suffering. It's not instant, but once I'd done the process, I was able to really have a foolproof plan. Next time any suffering into my system, I was like, I'm ready for this. I've got this. I've got a process. I understand it. I can meet my edges. And then once I'd done the wheel and sort of been coached around, then you're like, now I can just do this process for myself. And really that's the purpose of doing the wheel, doing the shamanic teachings, is so that you know yourself so fully that then you can take other people through that process, around that process. And it's the most incredible gift that you can give to any of your clients or anyone else in your life, because it's only through experience and really unpacking your own life experience can you then hold space for others. So the processes of the wheel is to have your own experience, your own transformational experience, so that then you can unpack it for other people. But really it's your own process first. And if you're thinking, whoa, I don't have any massive suffering pain points, I've just kind of had a few little things and this and this and this, we call it mirroring in shamanic practice, that all your clients come to you for the mirror. So whatever it is that you've been through will be a mirror for somebody else, because we're all sort of different brush strokes on the same canvas, if you like. So whatever brush strokes I've got in my past, I'll attract those same brush strokes. So a bit more intense. So I kind of thought, right, I need to be really good at what I do, because I've had some really intense things in my past. My clients mirroring me are going to have a lot of stuff. But if you're the kind of practitioner that's like, actually, I've only got, no really, really deep trauma, you won't attract those people. You will attract the people that have had your experience, that mirror you, that you can deal with. And we all need the mirror. So don't kind of poo-poo yourself and be like, well, I don't have loads of really deep trauma. I've only got this. Perfect. Because somebody else will have that. So don't judge it. We need each version of us. We need all the different brushstrokes on the canvas, because we are all of it. So whatever you are is a gift. You are exactly who you are and have had the experience that you've had, because that is perfectly what's needed. So don't, on this journey, judge between what other people have and haven't. This journey, this process is uniquely yours. And it's to learn about what you've been through, understand yourself, so that you can understand and assist and support another. And I hope that is really, truly helpful, especially to somebody who's kind of going through it at the moment. This is to empower you to kind of, okay, I've got this. Not to deter you. It's to empower you, for you to realise this is you. You've got this. And for anyone else interested in learning about themselves and doing the medicine wheel, please, let me know. Let me know. Jump on the Gateway, which is my initial course. You have the Gateway, and then you do the 4 directions, which is south, west, north, east. So there's a Gateway which teaches you about journeying and psychic ability, and how to first of all contact the shamanic psychic, because you need that for the wheel. And then you have 4 other directions. So if you wanted to do the entire thing, so there'd be 5 steps in the full wheel. But the gateway is a stepping stone just to try it on and see if you like it, to see if you connect. So if you're wanting to try the gateway, it's fairly inexpensive because there's other courses that come after it. So I made it as cheap as possible. And yeah, go on the website and watch the video, learn more, do the masterclass. And yeah, look forward to connecting with you soon. Upi chai.